Well, as you can see, last week we had this on the lift, working on doing an engine swap. This week, it's sitting right here. I had my neighbor come over. I wanted to discuss with him that the setup we were going to do, that this engine would require a new crankshaft because it has a tapered shaft and we need a straight output shaft with a keyway. And I asked him if he ordered his clutch system for that. And he said, no, he never ordered it yet because he found another golf cart that has a running engine, but the golf cart's junk. So if I knew that ahead of time, I would not have started working on this and planning ahead for that. But that's okay. But anyways, in return, he says I can have this, which is awesome because now I have an idea of what I want to do with that. I need to keep that for a couple parts, but it sounds like everything's going to stay pretty much the same on this thing. Instead, we're going to just put another engine like that on there and call it a day, which is fine by me. Not a big deal. So instead, we're going to work on this thing. It's been, I don't know, about 4 months since I've even looked at this thing beyond just pushing it out the door to make room for something else. And I think it's time to get some work done to it. I've been trying to plan some other things to do this, that, and the other, but you know what? I need to do something to this because spring will be here eventually and it'll be really nice to be able to just drive this out of the garage and go make the neighbors very mad at me. So anyways, let's get into it. My name's Jeremy. This is HP Small Engine. Well, if this is your first time seeing this old rig, this is a 1980-81 Honda 750C, which is the first generation of the dual overhead cam, I believe. Because I think the generation right before that was just single. This engine has sat since 2000, what did the guy say, 2001? So not only is this going to be a fun project to just ride around on, it's going to be fun to see if this engine runs after 20-some years. Yep. That's alright though. It's all part of the fun, right? Let's get you guys closer and do a quick walk around, just a refresher of what's going on and what I have planned for today. Recently, I've gotten some air filters, which is, I needed that for 2 reasons. 1, so I don't suck up dirt, but 2, I needed to definitely check the clearance of how much room I had in here, and I've got plenty, thank goodness. What I would like to do today, let's go back around to this side. I've had my brake and my clutch pedals just hang dangling this whole time. I want to get the rear brake set up, which I'll have to pick this up. Get the caliper mounted up under there. And then get the master cylinder. I got to figure out, I want to mount it. I was thinking about mounting it down here. And then I just do a couple linkages around, which I'll probably still end up doing that. But I got to see how much brake line I have first. If I have enough brake line, I might just put it up here somehow. I don't know. We'll get to that in a little bit. But anyways, clutch cable, that brake, and then after that, I'm still not very impressed with how this turned out. I'm still thinking about redoing this. I'm not sure if no one's seen this yet. I made this adjustable so I can tighten my chain for my steering. But the problem I have, if you can see, the steering wheel can roll forward, which I kind of expected, a little bit of movement out of that, but it'll loosen the chain enough to where I can't even steer. That wouldn't be very good to do at a high rate of speed. Now, when I steer, it brings this whole section forward and back. Let me see if I can do it. Whoop. Let me block the view first here. Let me see if I can show you. You see that moving? Probably not, because I can't hold the camera still. But when I steer it, it pulls this in and pulls this in a little bit. I think what I'm going to do first, before I redo the whole thing, is just take something from there. It's figured probably here or up here somewhere. Try to push it apart a little bit, but put tension on it. That way it can't move in and out, and I think that'll save a lot of the problem and keep everything from trying to move around. Anyways, let's figure out where I put the brakes at, because I've got too much stuff. Oh, and yeah, that's finally put back together. So once the Massey gets out of the snow pile, I can get that back in. When I get excited about stuff, I kind of get distracted. I apologize. No, I've got too much fun stuff to do. But anyways, here's for another distraction. Look at how buried the Massey is. I just got to go out the door real quick. We've gotten some snur. And I didn't mean to leave this out this long, but here it is. Whoops. Anyways, let's get back to work. Alright, we got her hooked up. This is hopefully not going to decide to drop on my head. It won't. It'll be fine. And up. And up. And up again. The front tire's flat? My goodness, roll back a little bit. There you go. And then up a little more. Get as much room as we can. Yeah. Alright. So, just because I am a klutz, I'm going to grab at least one of these. Oh. That looks like a really good spot for it right there. Right there. Just in case it falls, at least it'll fall right on my head. Okay, so I guess I should bring you guys over here and show you kind of what I want to do. I like that idea. There, now we're right in there. Let me grab my brake caliper and I'll show you what I've been thinking. Which, of course, the brake pad fell out. Hey, that's fine. I'll just do it this way. Go, would you, okay. Anywho's, that you do what you're told. This, I want it on the front. So A, the bleeder's on the top. And B, why is that? Anyways, it's always going to go forward. I'm not going to have reverse on this thing. So what I want it to do is pull down when it's trying to stop instead of, you know, like up here where I'd have to pull it that way, just because that's not the thickest of metal right there. And I just figured welding right down, it'd take a lot of pressure to pull down and yank it off of there. And I know I can weld good enough on that to not have it come off. So that is the plan, which obviously I'll look at it and make sure I feel comfortable with it. If not, I have that frame right next to it. I can do a little bit of added stuff to it. Okay, so first thing I want to get done is I want to build, would you spin like I told you? A bracket to hold that up with. And then I will figure out what I'm going to use to mount it to the frame, bottom of the body, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll go from there. So let me go digging through my scrap pile, see what I can come up with. I may have gotten a little ahead of myself, but I end up getting a piece of angle iron and I notched out around where the main part of the master cylinder is, and that piece right there. Just that way I can get that bolt hole to line up, and then now I just gotta make a spot for this one. Of course I can't find the right size bolt, so that's just holding that in enough to where I can hit that with the old center punch and then drill the hole, and yep, then I gotta go to the store and get some. Of course it's, 11 o'clock at night, so I gotta wait till tomorrow. Yay, that's okay. I can still manage to get some other work done to it. But for now, let's find the right size. Nope. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be closer to that size. Huh, it is that size, perfect. Now let's see how not straight I can get it. Just for gets and jiggles. Okay, that's way more perfect. Hurt. Okay. Let's pull this off. This is bed frame. If anyone's ever used bed frame for doing any projects before, it sucks. That's putting it lightly. This stuff is so hard on drill bits, it's ridiculous. Let me just make sure I have a good solid thump right there. I can't feel my finger anymore. Alright, so I need to get a size that big. Let's see, what drill bit do I not like? Because I'm probably going to eat through it. How about a Milwaukee? That sounds good. Here. So, that's way too small. Why would you even look at that? You know, it'd be great if I had the bolt. Compared the sizes too. The one right next to it. That looks great. Doesn't it? Can you see it? Does it look good? Okay. Now I need to grab my drill, which is buried way in here. Okay. Put it in the correct way. That'd be great. Alright. Now, let me grab some lube, because it helps a lot. I don't feel like changing the drill bit after halfway through. There, now I can't see the dot. Perfect. There it is. Alright, nice and slow. A little bit more. Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many drill bits I've gone through, not realizing that this stuff's a little bit harder than your mild steel. Just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now let's see if the bolt fits, because if it doesn't, I gotta go grab my other drill bits. So anyways, I'm gonna go grab my other drill bits, because these are the... Ow. 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 Yep. Okay, those words. They have like little pre-pilot things on them. Lawson products. These are hand-me-down from my dad. Work good until they don't. Now, is that the correct size? Yep, so we're going to go one size bigger, because I don't like the way that felt. Of course, the one size bigger is conveniently shortened. Don't know what happened there. Oh well. You want a little bit of play anyways, so here we go. Nice and easy. That was fast. Guess I did a good job sharpening that. Alright. Let's see if that drops in like it's supposed to. There we go. Beautiful. I can call that done. I'm going to wait on mounting that just because got to make sure that I got to get the right bolt set up so I have that at the right angle. I don't want it wrong, so that'll sit there. Let's move on over to the tractor again. Okay, I got you guys over here on the clutch side. Let's see, can you guys even see the arm? Okay, this little rubber boot right here, that's the base of the clutch arm. And the way it works is, well here, let me just scoot you over here a little bit. Whee! As you can see, right there, there. Listen, I'm not a camera guy, I'm the work on guy. Anyways, this needs to go up to disengage the clutch, and I don't know if it moves. My guess is this thing is sat so long here. This thing is sat so long that it probably needs a new clutch in it. But before I worry about getting a new clutch, I need to get this set up. So I have this ginormous Motion Pro clutch cable. What I need to do, this slides right in. Listen now. My cables are just not happy today. Okay. That slides right in there like so. So I need to make a bracket somewhere in there, which obviously I can pull the cable back a little bit. I'm thinking I'm just going to make a bracket that comes right out of this hole. Something comes out down like so. Or should I come off the back? I guess I have a little bit of steel to work with right there too. I didn't think about that. See? I forgot about that. I can do that. Yeah. Don't mind me talking to myself. I do that a lot. Maybe I can come off of here with that. Mount that right there. And then that'll be done for that part. We'll worry about the other half. Alright. Sweet. Hey, how's the back of my head look today? You guys see anything? Alright. Let me, actually, let me go find that piece of angle that I didn't need. Where'd I put it? Well, if you were just right here, where did you go? Oh, nope, that's the one I'm using there. Isn't it? Yep. Well, you guys aren't going to believe this. I put it back where it goes. Yeah, I could come right off of this. Boom. Heck, I could even do this. Boom. Obviously, I'm going to trim that down. That hole is almost perfect, too. It's just in the wrong side. All right, so let's figure out about how high it needs to be. Let's say right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Would you just listen? Okay. Okay, cut that shorter, weld it there. Got it. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Well, here's what I come up with. Got the hole drilled already. We're going to mount that right there to that clean spot you see. So let's get this sucker up here and eyeballed and see how not straight I can make it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Need it all the way to the edge, as far as I can get it. All right, safety squints. Yeah. One. Missed. Got it that time. Alrighty, let's burn this son of a gun. Ta-da! I think I could have went a little bit warmer, but it's fine. We'll see how it does when I tap it with a hammer. No. We'll just act like it didn't. Here, it'll be fine. Heck yeah, that one looks terrible. You missed it. Why would you do that? That'd be all right. So anyways, we'll let that cool a little bit. And then we'll put the cable through it and see how it looks. All right, and there it is. Turned out pretty good, I think. Don't mind the weld. We'll just cover that up. So that's in the spot that it's supposed to be. And obviously I need to pull on the cable a little bit, tighten that up. But what I need to do now is I ran this up and over. I ran it down through there. If you can see it going down next to the chain down there. We'll go around here and do a quick sneak peek from this point of view. Yep, goes down right through there, right into there. And I got it popped out right here. So I need it to come up something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole like right here and put a piece of metal in it and bend it and try to sneak it through there so it just pops out right here. That's all I really need to do. I got to figure out, I don't know how long of a stroke it's going to need, but since I have individual holes here, I'm going to make something to fit in here that'll hold onto the end of this cable. And then all I got to do is figure out which one to put it on and how far it'll go, and we go from there. And that'd be great. So anyways, let me get that hole drilled in there and situated, then I'll get that cable ran through. I don't think I've asked yet, but how's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm having a decent day so far. Comment. Tell me how your day's going. If you're having a bad day, I'm hoping I can cheer you up. If I can't cheer you up, at least make you feel better about yourself. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to probably set it up right about there, so we'll say we'll drill right about there. Nice and easy. Give it a little bit of space on the bottom. this shouldn't be very thick, but I got a feeling I'm going to end up on the other side of the tractor here in a minute. Oh. There we go. All right. Let me grab my deburr tool thing real quick and just get those sharp edges knocked down. Where did I put it? Right there. All right. Oh yeah, now I gotta do the inside. I can't do this backwards. Who made me do it backwards? I hope that worked. Excuse me. Okay. Now I gotta think about. Yeah, I'll put this in there. Get out of the drawer. You're not. Come on. Now. Thank you. Stubborn stuff. Okay, so I need to go this way. Right. Okay. And then a little something like this, right? Yeah. It's like it was made for it. That's loud. We'll hold off on the hammering right now. Okay, now let me think. That goes down. That goes down. And that can go down. So I gotta find something to hold it right down. Right? Right. Okay, let me go check my scrap bin and see what I can come up with. Okay, this is what I come up with. I'm gonna mount that in the middle. That way, instead of it being way out here and trying to figure out how to do my mount, I don't want the cable to be, I don't want it to be sticking way out, and I don't want it too close. I'd rather have it, just outside of my foot, because I don't want to hit it with my foot. I want just the pedal to be what I hit. I might actually move it ahead. Nope, I'm going to leave it right there. So I need to get a bolt, which I'm still looking for, because, an organized mess is better than just a mess. Anyways, let me get a bolt, get this remounted. And I have a piece of steel sitting over here. I was thinking about maybe I gotta see where, because if I have that up, then I can mount that to that. But we'll get to that in a minute. Who would have thunk it? A pin. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. I do need to make a spacer for this, though. I need to space it off to the side, but yeah, that's, yeah. That comes in handy once in a while. All right, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to probably take a few minutes to actually think it through a little bit more, but if I made these holes that diameter, all of them, then I could put bolts in, like let's say I put the cable here. I'll make a keeper that goes on the outside with the same size hole and have it bolt and pinch it right in place. So if I do that, even if it takes 2 bolt holes, say I want to put it up here, I just flip it over. I should be able to make that work and be universal for whatever I need to do. Once I get that done, then I can figure out how I want to make the cable holder itself. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to think on that. If I don't get back to it tonight, I'll probably do it tomorrow when I get the bolts for the brakes. But I think that might work out pretty good. Guess you guys will find out here in a few seconds. Now, after taking a little bit closer look at this, this is what I have mocked up. Obviously, I'll clean that up and make it look a little bit better. But this top hole, here, I'll show you. This top hole is so close to the edge, I didn't really want to drill it a size bigger because I wouldn't have much material to hold on to. But anyways, that's where we're sitting. It's in there, holding on to it. So now I just need to figure out probably this little guy right here. Sorry. Figured I'd put that right about there. Obviously, I need to cut that down a bit, but I don't know if I like that. I'm not sure yet. So now that I took 10 seconds to figure that out, I got to think about how I want to hold that still. So I'll get back with you. Well, if I say so, this makes me happy. Right there. Yeah. Let's take you guys over there and show you that it works. Is everybody ready? Just let me know. Okay. Heck yeah. I know that's way too much throw, whatever you want to call it, but it's adjustable. So now what I need to do is I need to pick the tractor up and go underneath it and make sure that the cable isn't hitting anything, because I know it probably is. So let's get this thing picked up. Let's go back underneath it and see what we got to move, what we got to adjust. Well, does anybody notice something that it's probably a big no? Like, I don't know, somewhere in here. Yeah, I already noticed that earlier, so I need to double check. Okay, this has an extra coating on the outside of it, but what I need to do is mount it up here, which conveniently there's a hole, so I'll just get a self-tapping screw or two. I need some hardware cloth, or no, not hardware cloth. What hardware strap? That's what it is. Plumber strap. You know, whatever that stuff's called. That would work, but maybe we'll do something a little heavy duty. Keep it out of the way. Let me see what I have, and we'll come back to that. Well, would you just look at that? Happen to find a cable keeper out of the wayer and a self-tapping screw. So let me tell you something, gentlemen. If your wife ever gives you a hard time for holding on to old hardware or whatever, it works. All right, so now let's absolutely destroy this in front of you guys. Okay, go in the hole. Go in the hole. Ha. Still touching. Okay, because it turned. Is it touching now? A little bit. I need to go up a little bit here. Well, there's a brake line there. Why is there a hose clamp? Why would you put that there? Why would you do that? Sometimes I ask myself that question. More often than not. Anyways, that hose clamp's got to go because I don't like that. I'm going to fix a couple things under here real quick. There, that's a little bit better. That's out of the way. I rerouted that up and over there. It's still got enough curl to... It works. Just a little snugger, but it'll do the trick. Now, did anybody notice something right here? Something yellow? Tell me you have a 2-year-old without telling me you have a 2-year-old. I'll go first. I just looked up by the oil pan, like, why is there a pencil there? It's amazing some of the stuff you find sitting around that you're just asking yourself questions of what universe did that spawn from? And you realize, oh, my 2-year-old. That makes sense. Okay, let's get this drop back down and stare at it for 5 seconds and then wait till tomorrow to get the bolts. Sounds great. So anyways, here's an up-close look at it. I mean, it's not pretty. This whole thing's a prototype, so I'm not really concerned about looks. I'm concerned about functionality. But I don't think it works too bad. I mean, after readjusting where that cable ran, it got a little stiffer, but I might do a little bit of an adjustment down there. We'll see. All it's got to do is help me take off, because I think I can probably shift without even needing to use the clutch after I leave. Anyways, one thing I do like to mention is, don't forget that I'm trying to do all this on a budget. So some of the stuff I do looks probably a little bit more cobbled than it should be, and I'm trying to do the cleanest I can on some things, but it's all about what I have around the house. I'm not trying to buy everything, and like, for example, this whole tractor, I'm pretty sure I have less than $800 into it, which, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money for just something to play around on, but in the same sense, it's not too bad for a lawnmower with a motorcycle engine and go-kart stuff and all brakes around it and stuff. At least I don't think so. I do like how the headers turned out, though. I mean, for OCD purposes, they're not exactly the same. But I don't care. I do. Don't think I don't, but it'll be fine. I tell myself that just so I don't, cry at night. I'm kidding. All right. I gotta mount this. This is the master cylinder for the front. Oh, when I went to tip this up, I was having problems. I couldn't get the front tires to roll. Well, if you watched my episode of me putting brakes on this, if you haven't, flash back to that and just see how I did it. Anyways, my bolt I use to tighten my cable down, I didn't realize it was a little bit too long, and when I first pulled the brakes up there, it bound them up. I couldn't figure out why this thing was so hard to push after a while. Well, I figured it out. I'm special sometimes, what can I say? Anyways, I think I'm going to wait until I can get the bolts for doing that, so I guess after I wake up, we'll get back to work on this thing. Alright, just like that, we are back for the next day. Got myself some bolts. Everything fits in there like it should. So now I'm going to remember which way this goes. This way. Let me get my marker ready. I'm going to get this set up about where I want it. Right about there. Looks fantastic. I'm just going to mark out where this sits. Oops. Okay, tip it down a little bit. That's where it should be. Alright. Yeah, now let's rotate just to make sure I'm clearance correctly. Feels like it. Alright. Make sure. Why do you got your light like that? There you go. Alright. That's all the way in, and that hits, I think. Yep. Pull it back a little bit. Now we're going to mark it, because, now I have it correct. Ish. Okay. Yeah, that one. I like that better. And then I need to grab my grinding wheel. Alright, now remember, always wear your safety squints when you do this. Yeah, okay. So then I'll do clean up on this. Excuse you. Okay, now let me get my welder set up. And, oh, why do I keep leaving the gas on? Shut it off before you go to bed. Okay, walked away. Never fails. Never fails. All right, you stay there. You stay there. Oops. Well, that's on. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tack this in enough to hold it up there. Then I'll take the caliper back off and then burn it in. I just want to make sure everything's where it should be for the most part. All right, that should be pretty close. This is going to hurt really bad. Keep an open palm so the hots fall off your hand. I like that. I'm going to reach around, you guys. Sneak in the backside and hit it real quick. Oh, oh, oh. A little bit higher. Oh, didn't clean that very well. Okay. All right, well, that's in there. So now I will pull that off and give her the onion. So that doesn't work. Let me go grab my 10 millimeter. Okay, 10 millimeter it is. Oh, you moron. You never checked that. I got it back too far and it's right into the axle. Jeez. Good thing I tacked it on there. My goodness. Some days I wonder about myself. Yeah. Everything else clearance, so we won't talk about the other part. Let me get this pulled off. Okay, so here's what my dumb butt did. As you can tell, I clearanced that quite a bit. I had that come all the way down, and it was running right into that bolt. Obviously, there's 4 of them. But now we have proper clearance, and the brake pads are on the... They're not on all the way, but honestly, the way that that fits, that's probably the closest I can get to it. Because the caliper mount will hit. I don't know. It's kind of a weird setup, but as long as it's on the brake disc, that's fine. So it's right back in the spot I started off at. Here, let me, here. So I'm going to weld that in. I'm going to take this back off, and then I'm going to weld that in. And then we'll mount it back up and see how it looks. Well, it's temporarily permanent now. I ended up loosening this up a little bit because I wanted to get a little bit more on that side, but I got like that much. It'll be fine. I'll let this cool down so I can remount the caliper. I'm probably gonna put oh my gosh, what'd you do to your bench? Anyways, where did I put the caliper? Right there. Okay, so I'm probably gonna reattach that. I'm gonna put a little bit of brake fluid in there, reattach it so I don't have to bleed a whole lot. Because I know it's going to be a little bit of bleeding anyways. Then once I get that on, I can figure out where I'm going to do the rest of it. Because that's going to be the most exciting part of doing this whole thing, is figuring out how the heck I'm going to mount the master cylinder and make the linkage work. We'll figure that out as we go. By the way, I pulled the blue off of the front of these. Can't pull the blue off the back. I don't understand. They put the blue on it, then they put the rubber piece in. And it's like, why would you? Okay. So it's shiny on one side and blue on the other. It's fine. Well, I've got some good news and some gooder news. 'Tis mounted. It's in there. And I have enough line that I should be able to run the master cylinder up on top in this general area, which is fantastic, because I really didn't want to mount it underneath here, because my original thought was mount it under here, then make linkages and stuff, but I have way more line than I thought, so that's good. So I'm going to get that jack stand pulled, that light moved, leave that pencil just for, luck, and get this set back down, and try to get an idea of how I'm going to mount that there. Well, I'm not real worried about excuse me, which direction the brake line goes at the moment, because I'll take care of that later. But for now, that looks pretty good, I think. I just don't know how much push that has. Okay, that has very little, so I'll put it down on the bottom. Okay, that'll work. All right, so we got to come up with something to mount here, bring it out a little ways. Good thing I wrapped those, because it really sucked to have to worry about, heat up here. It'll be okay. If I have to, I'll put a heat shield. That's fine. So, all right, scrap steel pile yet again. Let me take you guys over there this time. If you haven't seen my little collection of goodies. Get off the stand. Oh, by the way, I got a fancy new stand. I like it. I haven't used my new camera because I can't get the audio to work right. I'm about over that. Anyways, back on track. I always have a little bit of extra steel laying around. So whenever I go to the scrap pile, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's, enough to get me in trouble. Okay, let me scrounge through that a little bit, see what I can come up with. Well, you know what they say, a grinder in paint makes you the welder you ain't. We're not going to talk about that, okay? That's just, no. Anyways, here's what I came up with. I'm going to mount the master cylinder right here, right to this. I was going to do the third hole, I don't care. I'm going to test to make sure it doesn't have any flex. But I grabbed a hold of this and I shook the whole tractor, so I'm assuming this is probably going to be fine for what it is. But we'll see. Gotta let it cool, if you notice. She's a little toasty. I'm hoping that holds, because I left a gap in there to make sure I filled the hole in, because, when you butt weld, you're supposed to be able to get more surface area. So that's what I did. Now I just got to see, like I said, master cylinder put back on there and see how it works. I know I'm going to have to bleed it. I might have to ask the wife for help, because I don't know if I can reach that far from there to there. But yeah, once I get that mounted on there, I'll get the brake line ran out of the way, and then we'll test it and see how everything works. Check this out. Roll. Brakes. Huh? I think that'll work good. I mean, if I got to push the brakes hard, I'm going to bend stuff. And I shouldn't have been going that fast anyways. But then, stick shift. It's the whole point of downshifting if I have to slow down. But anyways, all I got to do now is pick this thing up. We'll get that brake line routed out of the way. And that'll be it. Well, I got in the zone and kind of just went and did it anyways. But I have this twisted overhead. I'm doing a loop. Got it tied up here to stay away from the chain, and then right up in there. Not too bad. I just figured I'd do zip ties, because if for any reason I got to pull it off quickly, I can either yank it off or snip, snip, and done. But yeah, that worked out way better than I expected it to. Honestly, I was kind of dreading doing these, because I wasn't 100% sure how everything was going to work out. Well, now I know. Well, unfortunately, I'm out of time this week for this old gal. Got to go back to work. So, my plan for next week is I would like to get the fuel tank mounted, which is sitting over there. Get this old gal mounted in there. Do a little bit of adjustment to my steering, and my favorite part, electrical. But if I do electrical, that means we're that close to hearing this thing run for the first time. I do need to get oil. I'm gonna put new oil in this and a new filter in it before I even bother trying to start it. I know it rolls over. I've already tried my hand, so I know that works. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed what you watched, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week. But you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.